right, so I am here to briefly talk to you about how important the patient voice is in the drug development process. And so the first thing from a regulatory perspective, the FDA is very interested in the patient voice. They're committed to this process of understanding what is most important to you as patients. They're here today, and they have been developing a systematic way of gathering the patient perspective on their condition and the available treatment options. Why do they need this information? It helps to inform the assessment of benefit and risk and decision-making for new drugs, and it informs their oversight of the drug development process, as well as their review of the drug and its market application. So the FDA has already completed 24 patient-focused drug development meetings in a variety of different conditions in a format that's very similar to what we're going to do today. And now they're passing this process on and asking stakeholders to come together like what's happening today and to continue this process. And so thank you to APFED for continuing this process on and for organizing an opportunity to get feedback on this specific condition. So what do we get from the patient voice? It helps us to understand and characterize the disease presentation. And this is so important in a rare disease, especially in a rare disease that has a wide range of symptoms, and the symptoms vary between patients. So we really want to understand that. And from there, we want to take your perspective and use it to inform the treatment development process, and specifically to say, what are the key concepts that you speak of that can help us to develop or select the most appropriate outcome measure to use in a clinical trial. It also will help us to define what a meaningful change is or an improvement from the patient perspective, and what symptoms you find to be the most bothersome. So it's important to note that what is bothering the patient and the doctor can be radically different, and that patients are the true experts. So we are here to learn from you, and that's what this meeting is really all about. So today we're using the polling software, and why this is so important is because active patient participation is key to this process, and it provides an opportunity for everybody to give input, whether you're online or you're located here in this room at the conference. And the answers are anonymous. And also from the polling that is done, we will be able to generate a summative report that we will use to further our development process, but also that can be available for patients to review. So it's just important to remember as we go through this process that we are here to listen and learn. The views represent personal opinions, and respect for that is really important. And we want to stay as focused as possible on the symptom impacts, the symptoms, the impacts, and the treatments. So the last thing I want to speak to is just that Evidera is currently working in a collaboration with Knop Biosciences to develop and validate a patient-reported outcome measure that can be used in a future clinical trial. And what it is an HES symptom inventory. And we are currently recruiting patients to participate in interviews to understand further the patient experience. And so many of the questions we will be asking of patients in the interview process will be similar to what is asked today, related to what are your symptoms, what is the impact of your symptoms on your activity of daily living, and what is your treatment experience, what works or doesn't work for you. And we also, in the second part of our interviews, would like to get feedback from you on our HES symptom inventory and how well you think it represents your symptoms. So the eligibility is you have to be 18 years of age and have a confirmed diagnosis of HES. The interview will last for a maximum of 90 minutes, and it can be done in person or over the telephone. And it does not involve any treatment, and you will be reimbursed $75 for your time. So if you are interested in participating in the interview, you can call the number listed at the bottom here, 1-800-798-8645, and Evidera will call you back to determine your eligibility for the study, and if If you're appropriate, then they will set up an interview time for you. We also will have a table in the break room, and feel free to come and ask questions or to sign up for an interview if that's something that you would like to do. And I thank the patients that have already scheduled, and I think we have a couple that will be completing interviews at the end of the day today. So thank you.